Hi there, I'm Lisa Niven Kelly for Beaducation, and today I'm going to show you how to use the JAX products. So as with any chemical, first and foremost, you want to be safe. So make sure that you wear gloves and eye protection and work in a well ventilated room, or I just take it outside. It's a really quick process, which you're about to see. And to store this product, make sure you keep the lid on nice and tight and store it maybe under a cupboard at like room temperature. Make sure that you read the label on the bottle and head on over to beaducation.com to the product page, because we may have more information in the product description in addition to the information I'm going to give you here today. So this product adds black to your metal, and for our purposes, we're going to use it for stamping in today's demo, but you can use it for any metal work or wire work. But you're going to put it on and then clean it off the surface, which is going to leave black down in the grooves. But this is not a product that you want to use on any cutlery or anything that's going to go in your mouth. While it's totally safe on jewelry and bracelets and all that to touch after you've used the product and rinsed it off, let's keep it out of your mouth. Cool. So I definitely want to stress that the most important thing to succeed with this product is to make sure that your metal is super, super clean. So when you get your metal, there might be like a little grease left from the manufacturer's tool, or maybe some grease from your hands, or maybe you just did some stamping, or you worked with some sort of, some of your tools that may have had a little grease on it. Make sure you clean it really, really well before using the JAX products. And we're going to start the demonstration with pewter and sterling, which work pretty much the same. And then we're going to move into aluminum. Aluminum is a little tricky. You got to mess with it a little more, but these are a great, great product for adding black into your impressions. And remember, this is a chemical reaction with the metal. So it's not like adding just a layer of Sharpie pen or a layer of enamel, which are just going to eventually rub or chip off. This is actually affecting the surface of your metal. So this darkening is going to last a lot longer. Cool? All right, let's get into the demo. All the JAX products are applied to the metal in pretty much the same way, but today I'm going to be showing you the aluminum blackener, silver blackener, and pewter black. I've got here some pewter that I've stamped, some aluminum, and this is some sterling. You can use these products for any metal work. I'm just going to show you today some stamped pieces. I'm going to apply it with either a regular old bristle brush. These are two I stole from my children's art closet. You can use a toothpick, you can use a Q-tip, or you can pour it in a little plastic cup and dip your piece in there. So you can play with all those ways and see which one works for you. I also have over here some paper towels, and off camera I've got a bowl with a baking soda bath. It's just a bunch of baking soda mixed with water, and I'm going to use that to neutralize my brushes and my pieces to rinse them off after I use the product. We're going to start first with the pewter, and my metal has been washed and cleaned to make sure there's no residue or finger oil or anything on it. I've got some sexy rubber gloves on. This stuff is not great for your hands, so you want to keep your hands safe. And I'm just going to unscrew the cap. I'm going to dip my brush in there and just basically paint it right onto the metal. One major safety tip is after you dip your brush, put the lid back on the jar. I'm not speaking from past experience, thank goodness, but it is my biggest fear. All right, so we are just literally going to take this and paint it on the metal. You can see the reaction happening really quick. Make sure I keep my paper towel under there. I'm not going to do the whole piece. I'm just going to do right over the stamped letters where I want the black to be. Let it sit for a little bit. It's nice and dark. Let me zoom in for you so you can see this. See how dark it is there in the grooves? That's what we want, looking good. So now I'm just going to pull over my bath that's got the baking soda water bath in it, rinse my piece nice and good, and rinse my brush. From here, you're just going to dry it and polish it like you would any other metal that you've oxidized or put Sharpie pen on or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and dry it and do that for you right now. So my piece is all dry and I'm ready just to polish it up as usual with steel wool, pro polish pad, whatever you want to use. But before we do that, I want to point out that you see at the bottom of the U and a little bit in the word B there in the E, it's kind of bright. That means that the blackening solution didn't take in that spot. So it's probably a little piece of oil or dirt is in there and it acted as a resist. If that's the case, just take the piece right now, go wash it, pay special attention to those spots, and reapply the blackener, and it'll be fine. But I'm going to leave it for now. And I'm going to use steel wool because I like the satin look on pewter. I'll just do a little part of it so you can see the two. See that? Already it's looking good. If you do use steel wool, you want to use it on the entirety of the piece so that if there is a satin finish, it's regular throughout the whole cuff, which is what this is going to be eventually. But for today, I'm just showing you how to use this product to add it into the grooves. So there we go. Looking good. All right, let me show you the sterling now. Not much different with the sterling. I'm going to go ahead and use the Q-tip now just so you can see different ways to apply it. I'm going to open the bottle, dip it in, put the lid back on, nice and tight. Now if you're ever applying the solution to the metal and the metal isn't turning dark, that means that either you don't have enough solution on your brush or your Q-tip, or your metal wasn't clean. So right here I can see that it's not getting into the grooves, and that's probably because I didn't put enough on. So let's put a little bit more on. Now with the Q-tip you can kind of press and really get it in there. That's better. Another thing can happen is, let's say you're doing this on stamped jewelry, if everything's turning black except the impressions, it might be that there was some oil on your stamp. So when you stamped, the oil got pressed into the impression, and that's going to act as a resist. So just get some nice, good soap and water going. Dawn works really well. Okay, that looks good. You can also kind of, if you needed to puddle it on a little bit and just let it sit, go for it. Do what it takes until you get this dark gray. You don't actually get black, but it ends up looking black after you polish it, but really what you're looking for is a dark gray. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this in the bath with baking soda in it. I'm also going to rinse my Q-tip before I put it in the garbage, and then we'll polish. You can see the solution got in all the grooves really nicely. And with the sterling, I'm going to polish it with Pro Polish Pad. Why not? I know some of you like to work with that. So remember, with Pro Polish Pad, everything needs to be very dry. So not only did I dry my piece really well, but I dried my gloves. And you don't need to have gloves on with Pro Polish Pads, but I've been washing my hands a ton lately and it makes it really dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them on. Pro Polish Pads have a micro abrasive in them, so it does the job of steel wool as well as a polishing cloth. So let's check it out. See already how nicely it's pulled it off, and it's soft enough on the surface that it's going to leave the black in the grooves, which is the whole point, right? It comes off super easily. And remember, this is not adding a layer to your metal like an enamel pen or a Sharpie. This is actually reacting with the surface of your metal, so this will most likely stay a lot longer than the products that just add a layer. And hey, while I'm here, how about I'll go ahead and polish up my pewter as well. There we go. There's those two pieces. You can see how easy and fast it is. And now I'll show you some tricks for doing this on aluminum. Aluminum is a little trickier in that even though I have washed this piece really, really well, the solution is not going to turn the surface black right away. Like I'll use the back of this piece and show you. So again, take the lid off, dip it in, get it nice and wet, put the lid back on, and I'll just do it right on the edge here. See how I'm putting a bunch on? I'll even let it puddle. Let me zoom in, you'll see that nothing is happening. So unlike pewter and sterling, Aluminum, you kind of need to dig a little deeper to get to a little bit more of the raw metal. See, it's went a little bit, but definitely not as easy and as quickly as sterling. So what you need to do is maybe steel wool or sandpaper your metal. You need to kind of remove that top layer. Maybe the aluminum was burnished really well with some burnishing liquid that's sticking there, but you have to sort of get a little deeper in the aluminum in order for it to affect it. But what's super cool is, for some reason, well, I guess I know why, when you stamp and you apply the solution, it will darken it. And I think that's because the stamp pushes into the metal and it exposes that deeper layer that I'm talking about. So let me just get a little bit more here. Now this is only going to work if, again, your stamps are clean. So they're not adding a bunch of oil or something down into that groove. So I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit. You can see it's darkening. But again, if I put it out on this part of the metal that wasn't stamped, nothing happens. So okay, let me go ahead and rinse this real quick. Just going to throw the Q-tip in the bath and let it neutralize. I'm going to go ahead and dry this off and I'll be right back. Now you can see the blackening solution took really well. So how about this time, just for fun, I'll polish it up with Pro Polish Pad, making sure again that my hands, my gloves, and the piece are really dry. Pro Polish Pads are not a fan of water. They get goopy and yucky, gunky. Let's take a look. Yeah, now that's really in there, and I can tell too that I stamped the top right heart a little deeper than the others, which is why it looks darker, which is why you gotta try to stamp evenly on everything, but it looks great. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's just another way to darken your impressions on stamp pieces or any metal work that you have done using the JAX blackening solutions.